All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Bishop Lafer. I am a marketing developer analyst here at IDX Broker, and I am joined by Bao Kim, who is also a marketing developer. Today we're going to talk about landing pages that convert. This is part 2 of a webinar series. 2 weeks ago, Micah did landing pages that convert creation, so he went over how to create landing pages within IDX Broker, and Bao has thrown a link in the actual chat. I'll go ahead and copy and paste it and put it into the questions box so that everybody can see it. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to go over just like a brief review of what Micah covered 2 weeks ago, and then we're going to talk about creating targeted Google Ads campaigns, creating targeted Facebook campaigns, and then event tracking and custom audiences within Facebook and analytics. What is a landing page? A landing page is a custom page created using specific targeted content and listings. So it's like a neighborhood page. There's a lot of different ways to create it. To create a landing page that varies from CMS to CMS. I'm not going to go over specific landing pages specific to different CMSs. Instead, I'm going to show you one example that is built using WordPress that Micah had also shown last week, or in the last webinar. And then we're going to talk about how to drive traffic to those landing pages. So the important things to know about a landing page is you can create it within IDX Broker or within your own website platform. And the idea is to provide visitors with easy search results and valuable hyperlocal information. And then an example would be one like this, Leonardi Real Estate. So this is a neighborhood. This landing page was created using WordPress, and you can tell because it's not on an IDX Broker hosted page. Instead, it's just on their domain. There is no subdomain. And so they have a category of neighborhoods, and then within that category of neighborhoods, they have this specific landing page that they populated with content that they wrote themselves, relevant images in a slideshow, a couple of saved links, and then a widget, a save search widget that they just dropped into their page. And this is a really good example of a landing page. The next thing that we're going to talk about is how do we drive traffic to this landing page. And so we're going to talk about using Google Ads, which is formerly known as Google AdWords, but on July 10th, they updated their products and it is now called Google Ads. We're going to go over a really high level. I'm not going to dive down into it too much. I'm going to show you some documentation. And then Bao is going to throw us the links that I have in the PowerPoint. He's going to put all these links into the chat box so that you can have them as well. And then in the follow-up email after the webinar, we'll send these links out as well so that you will have access to them. The first link that I have is Show Ads on Google Search Results page. This is a guide on how to create effective ads within AdWords. So for a landing page like this one, specifically for Cameron Park, we would want to build a campaign and build ads specifically for driving traffic for people who are interested in purchasing homes in Cameron Park. So to do that, you would pick your goal. Well, our goal is to find people who are searching for homes within Cameron Park. So that is our goal. And ultimately what our goal is to get those people to register for updates for houses for sale in that neighborhood and give us contact information so that we can reach out to them and invite them to an open house or ultimately sell them a home. Within AdWords, the first step is to determine what your bid strategy and budget is. You'll probably want to use an automatic bid strategy and understand that your budget limits the amount of money that can be spent in a day, and then just use automated bidding because that will determine what the most effective cost per click is, and you'll bid right above it. You'll never spend more money than your highest competition is willing to spend. And key idea with automated bidding, the Google Ad system uses its data to automatically optimize your bidding. And so this way you'll show more ads to people who are more likely to click, and then your budget controls your overall spend. So if you're willing to spend $300 a month on AdWords, then you would have a daily budget of $10 for this specific campaign. And then making sure that your ads show, you want to separate your campaign into ad groups based on targeting. So if you wanted to do geolocated targeting, then you could make one ad group that's targeted specifically to the location of Cameron Park. And so you could use radius targeting to target maybe a 10-mile radius around a specific zip code. And then within that ad group, in order for the campaigns to optimize, use machine learning, you need to have 3 ads within each ad group. So I would recommend, if you're going to run ads in AdWords for landing pages for a neighborhood, I would recommend 2 ad groups, one for geolocated targeting and one using just keyword targeting. And then you would show ads for keywords like houses for sale in Cameron Park. So in order to make sure that your ads are relevant, you would pull ad copy out of your actual landing page. With each ad, extended text ads are composed of 2 headlines, 25 characters each, and then one description that is 80 characters. And so I would say something like, houses for sale in Cameron Park, and then your description could say Cameron Park is located in El Dorado, California, part of the Sacramento metropolitan area, something like that for a description, so that it's hyper relative to your landing page. Because one of the biggest parts of how the cost per click is determined by Google Ads is your relevancy. It's called a quality score. So if your ads are relevant to your landing page, your clicks will cost you less, because Google ultimately is a product and they want people to find what they're looking for. And so if you are super relevant, not only will your organic search page rank go up, but also your paid ads will cost you less. And by using Google Ads, you will increase your organic page rank. And so you should see an increase in traffic through both channels, paid and organic. This link will walk you through, it's kind of a lot to cover as far as creating ads, but this link that I gave you definitely has clear step-by-step instructions. One thing that I definitely want to make sure to point out, like I said, was to be relevant. Make sure that your ad copy matches the copy on your landing page. Match your description to your headline. So if you're talking about one specific neighborhood, highlight the city that you're in or something like that. Also, Google's index is now based on your mobile page rank. So you want to make sure that your ads appeal to customers on mobile, and you want to make sure that your landing page loads well on mobile. Oh, also another thing that'll help you with keep your costs down in Google Ads is to use all of these ad extensions. So you could do site linking extensions, so you can have one ad, and then you can have site linking extensions, which is a link that takes the user further into your website. So you could have a site link for different neighborhoods. So you could have a general branded campaign where you're just advertising and you're bidding on your keywords, which is your brand name. And then you could have site linking extensions on that ad that have links into specific neighborhoods. And then callouts it gives you a little bit more space to add text. So instead of just having the 225 character headlines and the 180 character description, you can have a little bit more detailed information about the links, the site linking extensions that you have. And then also structured snippets entice users by highlighting specific aspects of your products or services in your ads. So that would be somewhere where you could put information about an open house or something like that. And then the last thing in here on the Stay Engaged page, in order to track how effective your campaigns are, you'll want to set up conversion tracking. That requires a little bit of technical know-how, and I'll talk more about it at the end, but I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that first. The next link that I have has information on how to write successful text ads. Come here. So there's a video. Basically, you want to highlight what makes you unique, include prices, promotions, and exclusives, empower customers to take actions, and match your ad to your landing page. I think the ones that are most important for real estate agents would be highlight what makes you unique, empower your customers to take action, so use a call to action, and make sure that your ad matches your landing page. Because again, relevancy, your quality score is what keeps your costs down, so you'll get the most bang for your buck. And then also I mentioned having 2 different ad groups with separate targeting. So I just gave you a link on how to target ads to geographic locations. Also, that I want to mention that if you do target ads to geographic locations, you're only going to show ads to users who are searching from within that location. So that's why I recommend having 2 ad groups, one that uses geo-targeted location targeting and one that does not, because if you only use geographic targeting or geographic location targeting, then you're going to miss out on people who don't already live in that area or not currently in that area who are looking to move to that area. So just be aware, if you use geographic targeting, make sure you have another ad group where you're not using geographic targeting and just instead keyword targeting. So that's a very high-level overview of campaign creation in Google Ads. Next, we're going to talk about campaign creation in Facebook. Facebook's got some really good documentation. The difference between Facebook and Google Ads is putting your ad in front of people who are maybe potentially a little further down the sales funnel because they're searching for things like houses for sale in Cameron Park. Whereas with Facebook, you're just kind of saturating a market. So geo-targeting might actually be more effective in Facebook, but also they're not quite as far down the sales funnel in Facebook. So you just kind of have to be aware. It's good to use a combination of both. This first link is how to create a campaign, like using the guided creation. For a real estate agent, I would recommend using traffic to begin with. The objective of traffic, which is just to get people to that landing page. Once you've set up conversion tracking though, if you put a Facebook pixel on your website and set up conversion tracking, then you can optimize the campaign for conversions objective, which will ultimately your conversion would be a lead registration, so someone who registers for updates about a specific listing within a neighborhood. If you do use a Facebook pixel and you set up conversion tracking within Facebook, then you can choose its objective, and that will be more effective and should ideally cost you less money. I just want to go over kind of really super high level. This link's got screenshots, so it kind of give you everything that you need in order to create a campaign within Facebook. There's just a couple things that I want to point out. So within targeting within Facebook, you can use a saved audience. So if you do install a Facebook pixel on your website, you can create an audience based on website traffic. So you can make sure that the people who are seeing your ads on Facebook are already interested in purchasing a house because they've already visited your website. So yeah, retargeting. If you use analytics and a Facebook pixel, so you install a Facebook pixel on your website, which you have to create a Facebook business account and then go in and within the ads manager, you create a Facebook pixel, install it on your website, and then you can create audiences based on certain criteria. So you can create an audience of people who have visited your website because Facebook is following you across the internet. If you're logged into Facebook and you're using the internet, they know where you're going. So you can create an audience of people who have visited your website, and then you can show these ads specifically to people who have already been on your website. Or also you can do location targeting by zip code or postcode, and all of that stuff is right here under the ad group. Under your audience, you can do location. Include locations, you can use a custom audience. And again, this is where under ad groups, this is where you want to choose your audience, and I'd recommend using more than one ad set. One ad set that's targeting specifically to a list of people who have already visited your website, and one ad set that's targeting people who are within a specific area, so who are actually in the neighborhood that you're trying to sell the houses to. And then ad placements. So ad placements for me personally when I'm running ads, because I know that from analytics that all of our traffic is primarily from a desktop. I don't show ads on mobile devices. Also, I don't find that for me personally running ads for IDX Broker, I haven't found that people who are looking for IDX for their website are looking on Instagram for that service. And so I don't show ads on Instagram. And so under placements, I always go to edit placements, and I don't show ads on the Facebook Marketplace. Instead, I only show it on the newsfeed on the right-hand side of the desktop version, and I show it in instant articles. Otherwise, I take all of the other placements off, and I found that that makes my ads more relevant and I get more bang for my buck. That's something that you could just experiment with. But if you are not seeing a good return or not getting a lot of traffic from your ads, one of the first places I would check would be targeting, and then I would check what your placements are. And then just like AdWords, you set a budget. Daily budget is the most amount that you'll spend per day, and then depending on how you choose to get charged, you can either choose to get charged by impressions or by clicks. You want to optimize your ad delivery for link clicks instead of post engagement because you're trying to get people to leave Facebook to go to your landing page. So instead of post engagement, you would want it to be link clicks. And then everything else you just kind of leave on automatic. And then this has more information on how to create ads. I will mention that carousel ads and video ads are probably the best performing on Facebook. And so a carousel ad just consists of multiple images where you can have an individual description per image, and you can also change the link that the ad actually goes to based on the image. So using a carousel ad, you could actually show ads for multiple neighborhoods within one ad. And those are the ones that are most often engaged with on Facebook as well. And so I would recommend using a carousel ad and a video ad. And then the other links that I gave you are just like location targeting and choosing your audience. So that's just a little bit more information on those things. So location targeting, you can target by zip code or postcode or by city or by state or region. And you just give it radius. You can put a specific address and give it a radius, or you can use a zip code and give a radius. The smallest radius is 10 miles. And then for choosing your audience, like I was talking about, if you install a Facebook pixel on your website, then you can show ads to people who have already visited your website. You can even build audiences for people who visit specific pages on your website. So you can build an audience of people who have been to your specific landing page that you're trying to sell houses for. So I could build a list for people who have visited this Cameron Park page, and I would just call it Cameron Park audience, and then allow it to build. You can't really show ads to an audience until it's got 1,000 people in it, so it takes a little bit of time for that audience to get large enough. But if you open the window up to 90 days or something like that, and you're paying for traffic on AdWords and on Facebook, and so you're getting traffic from multiple sources, and you're doing like open houses and just out and about word of mouth or if you do like a billboard or something like that and you're driving traffic to your site, then it's not unrealistic to have an audience that's large enough to show ads to specifically for that neighborhood. And then you've got really fine granular targeting, and your ads should be really, really relevant. And because they perform better, they'll cost you less. So this is a little bit more information about how to create custom audiences. So within the Facebook Business Manager, there's an Audiences tab and Ads Manager. And then you go to Create Audience button, and then you can use a customer list. You can even create an audience from a list that you've collected. Like if you have a list in Excel, you can copy and paste email addresses in to create the audience. Or you can use a Facebook pixel to create an audience. And then once you have an audience created and it's large enough, you can even come in and create a lookalike audience where Facebook will build another audience of users that are similar to the audience that you've already built. And so that's a good way. If you feel like you've been running ads for 2 or 3 months and you've been targeting specifically a custom audience and you haven't seen a lot, or you feel like you've already gotten the amount of return out of that audience that you are going to get, then you can create a lookalike audience and Facebook will build an audience of people who are similar, and then you can target ads to them specifically. So the last thing I want to talk about is event tracking. This is how you measure how successful these campaigns are within analytics or within Facebook. So Facebook uses this pixel. So I would recommend using the pixel no matter what, because you need the pixel in order to build custom audiences, in order to really target your campaigns effectively. Also, once you have the pixel installed, so it's just a snippet of code that goes in the head of every page on your website. Once you have the pixel installed, you can also do things like conversion tracking using the pixel. So this definitely requires some know-how. I would speak to your webmaster, or if it's something you feel like you can't do, you can reach out to us and we will help put you in contact with the right person, someone who can help you. So that's sales. You can contact us through our website or give us a call at any time. But once you have a pixel installed, then you can fire an event, right? So this specific event would be a purchase, but you could just say Facebook FBQ is the function and you want to track, and then you could say event like lead. And then like I was talking about in the Facebook campaign creation, when you choose an objective rather than using traffic, you can choose the objective of conversion, but you need to have this pixel installed and you need to have conversion tracking installed as well in order to do that. But then that way your campaigns will optimize for people who are submitting those forms. And then in Facebook, in analytics, we should set up events to be tracked in analytics. And so this link here is just event tracking. And there's a lot of different ways to set up event tracking depending on what your analytics setup is. And again, this is the type of thing that you would want to talk to your webmaster about or your dev partner. And if you don't have a dev partner, we can help you get one. So feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to put you in contact with the right person. But essentially, you want to track an event on form submission. And then based on that event, you'll create a goal in analytics. So when the goal fires every time an event, or you get an event from a specific source. So every time someone clicks on an ad that you're showing in Google Ads, comes to your landing page, fills out a form, then that will fire a goal. And then you import that goal into AdWords for conversion tracking, and so that you can see in Google Ads that specific lead came from your paid campaign. And that's how you would track your effectiveness. I know that was kind of like a lot of information really quickly. I left a bunch of time at the very end here so I can answer any specific questions. So if anybody has any questions, could go ahead and take those. So Kenneth says he successfully installed Facebook Pixel on his website, but do I need to set up Pixel somewhere within IDX Broker to keep track of who's searching the IDX Broker search pages? No, you don't. The people who are searching the IDX Broker search pages, basically you just build a custom audience within Facebook. So you go into your ads manager in Facebook to the audiences tab, and then you build an audience based on the page that search exists. Does that make sense? So any page that you have a search on, you could build an audience based on traffic to those pages. Within IDX Broker results pages, there's a section of the URL that says details. You could build an audience based on a URL that contains the word details, and that would capture all details pages. Rebecca, you should get in touch with our sales staff, and they could triage you, determine what your goals are, and then they can put you into contact with the right person who could help you with all of this stuff. It is a lot to cover in a short period of time. And so I totally understand if you're overwhelmed. It's also very easy to spend a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing and not see any return. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to us, and we can put you in contact with someone who will be able to help you out. To reach out via email, it would be info@idxbroker.com. I'll go ahead and put that into the answers box. So long tail links are actually very helpful for SEO. The important thing is within your analytics to make sure that you have cross domain tracking set up, and also that you are submitting a sitemap to Google. So the number one thing for SEO is submit a sitemap through Google to Google, and you can get sitemap generated via IDX Broker within middleware. Chris, do you feel like we answered your question appropriately? Awesome. I'm glad that we were able to do that. Does anyone else have any other questions? So Chris says he's looking to find a way to showcase IDX open houses that are not under featured open houses. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% certain how to answer that question, but I will find someone who does know how to answer that question, and I will get you that information afterwards. If you can give me your email address, I can follow up afterwards. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Chris, for giving me that contact information. I will find someone who knows better how to answer that question and follow up with you. If you'd like to figure out more or want help, reach out to info@idxbroker.com, and we will put you in contact with someone who will be able to help you. And again, thank you very much for your time. I hope you all have a great day.